Hello, I am here at Viridian Rise, and I am going to show how to dual log or use two characters to get through Viridian Rise for 2 times the rewards. And this is going to be for Levistras in particular because there are some custom changes here. For example, you only need 3 essences to continue each level rather than 4, and there are some other changes as well. This character here is my killing character. He has missile weapons, lockpick to progress levels, cooking to make VR meads for plus 20 health, which is really nice, and a ton of melee, so he's really good at evading. My other character, who I will pop a couple of beers on and use this deck of eyes for a 15-minute buff. He has the usual void spec, and with all these buffs and everything, he has a ton of life magic, so he doesn't get resisted too often. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. The void character, well, I guess really quickly, here is my archer's character's attributes, and then the void character is just going to vuln everything. The archer will kill and loot, so I only need 3 essences. Now if nothing was on me here, this archer could kind of go around and pick off things one by one, but you know, wasps aren't that dangerous anyways, so it's okay. But yeah, this is one of the safe spots where you can kill. You can also kill through the wall. So 3 will be dead here in a second. Don't need to kill this last one. I have the essence on my loot profile, so I just jump and loot and it will pick it up automatically. The other spot to be safe on you know, on level 1, you can jump up onto this rock, and you know, it's pretty safe from melee attacks and whatnot. So this is a pretty easy level overall. Now the end for this, I'm just gonna hit the small enter key to see the overview. Sorry for my ugly interface, it's kind of blocking everything. But this is level 1 here. This whole right side is useless on level 1. So if we run both characters straight up here, you will run into the fiery remains, which will take you to the next level. I have to pop the lockpicking golem to reach, I believe it's 570, maybe 575 lockpick. I think it's 570. So that I only need 3 essences. Now, let me just kill this thing so it's not on me as I do this. While I'm shooting this, let me go back into this. Nope, that's too hard. All right, here. So this is the direction that we will run. And the ending will be right on the left here, so it's like here, or all the way at the end, or there's one right here. So as long as we just run straight, have the next guy follow behind, can get both characters into the level 2 portal. And I've already found the remains here, so it is on the right here. My golem disappeared as I was explaining that. Okay, so yeah, a little bit messy because usually we'd have the golem buff and that would instantly pop, but it's okay. So level 2, you can kill things behind you through the wall. Sometimes it can be hard to loot right here, but maybe over here is a little bit better. That's one thing you could do. So you could easily kill 3 Zephyr, have to fight nothing in this whole level 2 area, and can move on to the next level. The other safe spot is up on this rock, safe for melee, but I can just run and kill something over here. I do have finesse weapons in case I wanted to kill something through the wall. I can kill this wisp here. I'm just going to use slashing. Slashing or lightning are both fine on wisps. And I assume most everyone will know how these different mobs work, but yeah, they have their thing where they talk in green text for their sort of ultimate spell. The wisp will drop acid when he dies. Same thing, I just jump and loot and it will give me the 3 essence. I have like loot closest unopened corpse, so I just kind of shift jump and then hit my use closest unopened corpse and it will loot it. I think it's mag tools that instantly picks up the essences because it's on my loot profile. So this level, one can spawn right here at the start. This level is the same as 1 in the sense that this whole right side is useless. So if we run like this line, we will always run into the ending. Now 1 can spawn where we are. 1 can spawn right on the other side here. So it can spawn right there, right here, or along this end. There's like 1 here and 1 here. So, you know, very rarely you will run and see nothing, and that's when the spawn is moving, and that's just kind of unluckiness. So I'll just hit my lockpicking golem, auto run. Looks like it's going to be all the way at the end here. Yep, all the way at the end. Now the guy behind will hardly really get hit at all because the aggro goes on the front character. For portals, you can actually jump and use them from a little bit further. But when you are in the air, you have no melee, so you'll get hit more often. So level 3, you could once again kill through this wall here. Looks like I can see that this other Gromnus here on the left, he has a bigger hitbox. You can actually see him through the wall. So that one's going to drop me 3 essences. So, you know, you can kill these for tasks. I'm going to ignore the tasks and just take my 1 kill and go to the next level. So let me just kill this thing through the wall here. Should probably kind of bind some of these things. So I don't have to click off repeat attacks. I actually used to have a bind for that. Looks like he's hard to kill right here. I'm gonna see if he'll move over. Maybe move over this way. It's an interesting spot. I got stuck. I'm just gonna dispel because these things really hurt when you are owned. Mashing attack. Let's hope I can loot it. Sometimes they'll die and they'll be too far in the away and won't let you loot. But yeah, that was a really easy level 3. Now, if a Gromnus had spawned over here, you can actually pull them, and they aren't really able to run along cliff sides, so they would all get stuck right here if there was a Gromnus here. So that is one little tip to make the Gromnus easier to kill. Now this is level 3 here, this kind of square. This back half is useless. So the ending will be straight ahead on the left, in this corner, way over here, or way over here. So what you can kind of do is dip into here for a second. This will at least get this, it'll pop up if the ending's here. I think you might be able to go even further and check if this one's there. What I've been doing is just barely dipping here and then instantly running along this way. If it's at this ending, that's kind of the unlucky one, and then you would just have to go around here. So I guess, you know, maybe you could run one character, go up around, and then you would know it's up here somewhere or here. But yeah, what I've been doing is just barely running here. I see, okay, it's not at this close spot. I run along here and I will find where it is and then go to the ending. So I'm just gonna do that. Pop my lockpicking golem. I see nothing, so it's not at that close left spawn. Follow this one behind. Still haven't seen it, which is probably gonna mean it's gonna be over here. Yep. And yeah, if you don't know where stuff is, you can just hit that little enter button and have it help you to see, you know, where it is. Okay. Now level 4 is a bit trickier in that you would need, you know, with lockpick, you would need 10 essence for this first part, and it doesn't even take you to level 5. So the easiest way is to just jump across, or you know, or you can farm 10, but jumping is going to be way easier. I know for my jump skill, this is the best route, but I think if you have a little bit lower jump, this might not work as great. But from this rock, I'm just going to aim here and do a full shift jump, and then jump across here. This character actually also has surprisingly a lot of jump. I think I have an epic jump thing, and I have some, I have 100 chords, so yeah. Another way, if you have less jump, you can jump from the third rock. But yeah, just find what works for you and your jump skill. And then I usually aim this left rock here. Nearly missed. But if you miss, you can just recall and come back. But yeah, if you don't have recall yet, then it can be a bit annoying to run from the cottage's portal. So this is level 4.5, and you only need 3 essences again. These are custom for Levistras, these shielded ones, they don't move. I'm gonna ignore them. I'm just gonna grab this wisp here for another 3 essence. Super easy. I used to have repeat attacks bound. Super easy to move on with just, you know, killing one monster. This thing hurt. I'm just gonna dispel. Hit it with a corrosion so my other guy will do more damage. Looks like he's owned as well. I'll just dispel him, why not? If you use dispels a lot, it's generally worth it here, and you'll stay pretty safe, particularly versus the Gromnus. That's the main one. That's probably the best to use dispels on. So this level is kind of tricky because you don't want to mess up and you know, because you're gonna have to do the jumps again. This fiery remains is actually surprisingly for all the way back there, so I'm just gonna remove that. I have these Nightblooms, which is, you know, for the VR Meads. Probably could have undid that for this video, but yeah, whatever. So on this level, you will ignore it. It's this triangle here, and this whole left side is useless. Now sometimes a boss can spawn over here or something, but you know, one of the Anek bosses or even the tree guy can spawn over here. But generally speaking, this side is useless, and the ending will be at this close corner right in front of us, all the way back here, but on the left of this hedge, or right here in the back, or right here in the back. So if you run along this way in auto run, you'll run into every single one of them. The tricky part though is at this split here, vsense will notify you right here. So you'll have to make a quick decision to go left if it is on the left here. Otherwise, you're going to have to run around, and then your guy behind is going to be kind of caught behind, and you're going to be trying to turn 2 characters at once. It can be kind of hectic. So just know that right before this split, vsense may pop up with the fiery remains, and you have to make a quick decision to go left. So I'm gonna go here. Here's the split. I'm gonna summon another golem. Fiery remains was on the left, so I'm just gonna go to the left. Now a lot of the times it will be on the right, and it will be at the end there. So that's level 4. Now we're on 5. Getting real lucky with spawns, like only need to kill this one again. I can show a safe spot here, which is just on this tree. And yep, this thing won't be able to hit me. Now, Zephyrs and stuff can shoot up here. But, you know, it's safe from melee and sometimes, you know, safe from spells. I can jump down. I have a lot of melee and I can just use a Dispel Gem if needed. Just going to hit it with some Void debuff so it dies real quick. It's going to hurt. Nope, I'm not even vulnerable. Okay, do my little jump loot to loot all the essence. Now, this is how we spawned. We spawned looking back at 4.5. So if you turn around, here's the tree. So this triangle that's covered up by my ugly UI is the level 5. Now the back part here can have like a boss, but generally speaking, the ending's not going to be at this back part, and it's not going to be along the wall of 4.5 either. So it'll be right here, here, inside this part right here, or right there. So if we just turn around, like go around this hedge here and run this way, we will see every essence spawn. If it was at these close to spots, they would already be popping up. So, you know, if it was there or there, I would know already. So as soon as I turn this corner, I'll kind of know if it's right here. Otherwise, I'm just going to run this way and it will either be up on my left here or straight ahead. Let me just jump this character down. You can have melee wand out. Oh, actually, oh no, that's the fiery remains from the last level. Thought it had respawned over here. Okay, so I'm going to go around. It's not that way. Just going to follow with auto run. And it's straight ahead. So it could have been on the left, but it was straight ahead. But thankfully with these, with your guy that's falling behind and everything, there's not too much turning you need to do. So you can kind of go these predictable running routes every time. Here's an example of how the Gromnus get stuck on these these cliff sides. So it's just gonna get stuck there and totally safe. You could kill along this, you know, here's 5. You could kill along this wall, like through the wall for easy kills. Here's, you know, some Gromnus through the wall here. Could kill them. I see Zerz is over there. So let's show how this works on Levistras. This is unique in that, yeah, he doesn't drop loot for, like he doesn't drop the reward on himself. It is this egg that he spawned with. So I have this stuff all on vsense. Maybe I can list right here stuff that you would add to vsense for VR, and like you can just pause and add those things. So when I kill Zerz, the ending portal will spawn. So you don't even need to farm any essence on this level. And the ending is at the end here, but on the other side. So this is the one tough level in that you have to go around, and do another turn. So there's a lot of turning here. If you kind of start here, you can sort of auto run it, and there's maybe one major turn and kind of a turn there. But definitely this is the most alt tabbing and micromanaging you have to do between the two characters. Now there is a total cheese you can do for Zerz that was found accidentally. Actually, there's 2 Zerz here. You can actually drag this one here along the side all the way back around to the spawn. I'm just gonna drag the close one here though. Now there's actually 2 ways. I'll show the way you could you could do this with even the oak guy. This would work. So you just bring him back to the spawn. If it's the big tree boss, this would work the same. You bring him back to the spawn, and then you'll recall out on this character, and then just vuln on your other character that's far away. And this will stop them from running back. So he'll run against the wall. Everything will portal back except this guy. Now, Zerz is buggy in that he gets stuck on this rock if you just run him over it. And then he's totally useless on the rock. But you know, you could also stick him on here if this rock didn't exist, but hey, it's there, so I will use it. And then yeah, if you died, you would just use the key like that to get back to whatever level you needed. Now, sometimes when you go up here, I don't know how the mechanic works, but he does spawn little Gromnus. So maybe he'll do that on my character, and then I'll probably get him stuck over here or something. But this character doesn't need to be right up next to Zerz. I'm kind of just doing this so I could do that kind of destructive curse dot that you know, helps damage, but it's very low range. You know, I could be doing singularity bow. I'm starting to get confused whether my VR bow is actually better than sing bow or not, damage-wise. But he's gonna die quick enough anyways. But yeah, my VR bow is just like super lucky rolls. This is it. So it's like yeah, very good. Now, for this guy, I actually have my protection surge on here. I was going to show how some of these dot mechanics worked. You can actually, yeah, I could be summoning on him. You can also blast him up there like that for extra damage. That summon failed. Yeah, it's nice for these big bosses to just streak them, get a surge going, then use your dots. He still has some other dots on him, but it'd get the max damage dots on him, so you would do the most damage. And then you just keep them running, and your other character will be hitting very hard. So, as he's dead, you know, portal gems, keys, these only make one key. I don't need any of that stuff really. I could have grabbed one amber. But so yeah, gonna have to use that egg that was over by him. And I'll just show how usually you would do this level. So you'd kind of run straight here, following with this back character, turning and aiming at the end, and then this part just turning around. Now gonna have to loot this, which makes it a little bit harder because you're getting the reward, you're alt tabbing and doing more stuff. Just dispel generously. I didn't even get anything with that dispel, but it doesn't hurt. Gonna pop the golem here. It's a long run, so you do have, oh, I don't even have to pop the golem, right? Because the portal's at the end. But if the portal wasn't spawning, you would pop the golem somewhere near the end. Because this level is so long, you can't actually pop him at the start, because the spell would go away. And that is VR. I would say that's most of what I know, and that I can, you know, contribute as most helpful. These, sorry, my dog is dreaming, if you can hear him in the background. These different NPCs are for the kill task. Since I rushed through it, I didn't really do the kill tasks, and I'll just have them be done when they're done. Oh, that one's done. I've done that multiple times probably. That was the wasps. I did kill a bit of those. And yeah, the reward is 5 use key, 10 shards, so nothing too major. A lot of the shards you get from just completing the levels, and Zerz essence is worth the most, so it's worth 80. Turn on V-Tank to stack my stuff here real quick. Can give it to this character. Let's see if I get anything. Usually not much from this. It's bad. Life imbue is okay. Clouded souls, some starting people find that helpful. But yeah, nothing too great from these. Oh, I have an old Zerz essence as well. Cool. And more junk. Yep, a lot of junk. And let's see, should I talk about anything else? Final tips if I can think of any. I'll try to mass cut random tips here. Let's go to, I would say I most farm 5 and 6, or yeah, 5 and 6. Actually, yeah, I know what to show. If we go back to 5, this is probably the most efficient level in that you get a lot of ambers and you only need to kill 3, you only need 3 essence to move on. It's also nice because there's a lot of Nightbloom here. It looks like one's on the other level, but I can already see 3 Nightbloom. Sometimes there's bosses back there. Now if you open up, let's see, where is my quest tracker? The reward I won't get for 5 minutes. I think if you're on a regular server, you can't even redo these things for a day, but here you can. And I believe it's every 15 minutes for a reward. So if I wait 5 more minutes, I can get the reward by going into the portal on this level. And that's going to give the most ambers aside from level 6. But level 6 takes the 10 essence. So farming level 5 is really nice because you don't have to do much and you can get a lot of ambers. Sometimes I'll just come here, farm 5, sometimes farm 6, get it, especially if there's a lot of Nightblooms, just get the rewards. Particularly probably farm 5 and just see if there's any, a big Nightbloom spawn on 6. Now, I can explain how the Nightbloom stuff works. If you have spec cooking, you get 5 of these flowers per Nightbloom. Train cooking is 3. You need to kill 3 enemies to light them up here to make them lootable, and that's just for Levistras. It actually used to be harder to do this. So let me just kill 3 things here. So I just killed 2 of them, and then I had to find this. I wanted to mention this. In Viridian Hotkey, if you go down to the bottom, you can, with target HUD, closest vulned target. So I bound this to home. So when my one character vulns, I can just hit home and delete, and it would target the one that got vulned, and I would shoot it. So yeah, you can kind of bind that to make targeting on your second character easier. So you're vulning, you just alt tab home delete, and instantly we'll start shooting that vulned target. Very handy. Let me kill here. I used to have repeat attacks bound, but I don't. But always nice to have things bound so that there's less clicking. Alright, so as this third thing dies, all the Nightbloom on this level start to glow, and now I can run around and loot on this character. So let me do that. Let's get this guy back to safety. Alright, so this one is useless. So let's go over here. So it's kind of glowing. Just go up and loot it. 5 mana. Oh, I can show a thing with these mana ones as well. I'm gonna go over here. 5 vigor. The vigor ones are kind of nice for Hoshino. You know, they give you extra stamina. I have a ton of stamina right now. But with the stamina buff that happens in Hosh, stamina can always be nice. The health, 20 health is super cool. I think it's a bit of time before my next level. Ooh, 9 seconds. So I can just go to the next level, which was over here this time. And yeah, I'll just run over here, get this reward while I'm here. So yeah, 16 shards, another 16 shards, 32 shards right there. Now with this stuff, let me show, sorry, my packs are disgusting. Okay, here, I'm gonna show this. Let's say I have some mana stones here. What you can do, it's always probably nice to leather your armor and stuff, but you can, the mana meads, since I don't use them too often or need them much, you know, I can use it. It doesn't, a little bit more mana, but they have so much mana themselves, you can use the stones on them. You can also use one stone, not do anything here, use the next stone, use the next one on it, and then just click yes 3 times, and it will fill up all these mana stones. So it's kind of handy. You just carry these around. They are high burden, but then you kind of have a way to, you know, refill these at any time, and it's kind of cool. Now the other way you would do that is you go to Soweto, and there's a guy that gives you a mask there that does basically the same thing, and he can give you a bunch of masks that you just destroy for mana as well. That's another way to just get a ton of mana. But yeah, I believe that was 30k mana for these. It's pretty nice. So lastly, I think I will show the sort of boss running routes that I do, and it's usually just on 5 and 6. So if I go back to level 5, I will just show the route I use to check if bosses are there. Now they're not going to be here because I've been on the land block. But if I had left for 6-7 minutes, probably like 5, I think is actually how long it is, but I like to leave for like 6 minutes and then come back, it would reset this land block and have a chance of spawning bosses again. Basically, I like to check on part of 4.5 because I don't mind doing the jumps. Sometimes there can be a neck here. You won't see from level 5 if there's a Norse, the Norsh oak golem like way over here, but you would see if there's one here or some neck there. Not totally needed, but you know, sometimes if I'm checking for bosses, I will check 4.5 by running along this wall and then just kind of running this way and seeing if there's anything in the back that have spawned. And that's how I check for bosses on this level. So I just would run over here and run along this wall and be like, okay, there's nothing here. And then I run this way, checking if there's anything in the back, which I've ran this level a lot, so I know that there isn't really, but you would know somewhere here. You can also run through this part. Basically, if there was a boss back here, the best way usually is you just come over to this rock, jump up here, but it can hurt as you have a ton of stuff on you. And you can kill it from this rock that's right here. So that's level 5. Well, level 6 you already know. You can just run here and see. And there can be bosses that spawn here or along here, but yeah, you would kind of know. But also if I'm checking for if there's a good spawn of those flowers, I might run along here and see. Oh yeah, this is what I did too. So you can run along 6, and from 6, I remember now, you can actually see if there's anything at the back of 5. So that's one thing you can do. Bosses, the Anek bosses can also spawn in level 3. I forget which one is more likely to spawn on level 3. But yeah, they can, I believe both spawn on level 3 kind of in this middle area. So if you really wanted to do a loop and checking every land block reset, if they were around, you could check level 3 as well, but it isn't really like absolutely needed. They only give 40 shards, but yeah, it kind of adds up if you want to check if they are there, but the main ones being level 5 and 6, and sometimes 4.5 if you want to go over there. There are a few other keybinds that I could actually mention. So one obviously is going to be, IDing, set to whatever you want. I think it's usually set to E, but E is actually my dispel, so which I should do. I'll tab dispel. Now the other thing is checking for debuffs. I have set to N, but you can set it for whatever. And then U set for group panel. Now if I was on some random spell here and I wanted to heal, I have F3 as targeting the first spell, and F2 as like an alternate way to use it. So if I'm somewhere random, I can just have my buddy targeted and F3, F2, and it would instantly heal them. So this is pretty handy, as your second character can kind of play healer as your first one does, all the killing. So if you're volning stuff, I actually think there might be a way to bind even targeting your friend, maybe. I'm not sure if there's an easy way to do that. But anyways, you can, target them yourself, and I just hit F3, F2, and it will instantly heal them. So that's another handy little keybind that you can add and use.